guess what? Our boy Sneako has officially broken up with Nick Fuentes. The match made in heaven seems to have become a hell of its own. Our boy Sneako and Nick, they're feuding. And what is the feud about? Who cares? I don't really care. But we will still explore it, but I don't really care. Because guess what? At the end of the day, especially on the side of Sneako, this pretty much does trickle down into just being content for these guys, okay? It's something to talk about. These two individuals, despite having, you know, basically teamed up, combined forces for the last, give or take 2 years now, there comes a time in every online entertainer's relationship with another online entertainer who just so happens to have the worst fucking opinions. There comes a time when nobody is dumb enough to properly feud with you, and so you start feuding with your own friend. Such seems to be the case with our boys, Sneako and Nick. So, let's watch some context. I haven't seen any of this, but should be fun. I'm sure that they're fighting over something really worth arguing about.
Haitians are awesome. They killed the slave masters. Go live there then. Sneako, we love you. We want you back on Team Red Pill, okay? Me and Zerka.
A Canadian. So you're saying go live somewhere else, and then you're like, me and this Canadian and Albanian. They had nothing to do with the founding of America. A lot of whites who...
What the fuck is this? Bruh. I just know I'm about to lose brain cells, bro.
A lot of whites who always talk about their white identity, they don't even claim Albanians as white. They call them Arabs. And that Canadian. I'm more American. I am American. I'm just as American as you, Nick. I was born in this soil. Didn't your grandparents immigrate here? My grandparents on my Filipinos, they immigrated here from the Philippines because it was colonized and it wasn't safe anymore. They came here for new opportunities. My dad moved here. I am American. If you think Zerka's more American than me as a patriot because he's white, you're proving your ideology. You think whiteness is what makes people American.
Yeah, of course he does. Why is Sneako pretending to be shocked by this, bro? He's been backing up his boy Nick literally for 2 years, while he's pretty well said exactly that.
Sneako's, all he talks about now is Christians and white supremacists, this and that. Dude, this country was founded by white supremacists. If they saw you, they...
But they weren't... This country was not founded by Mexican Italians. It wasn't. It was...
Right, okay, so I think he's Mexican-Italian. Okay, so he's angling the founding fathers as being like fascist tier, you know, white supremacists, right? Jefferson had biracial kids, for the record. Now, he just so happened to have those kids with one of his slaves. But, clearly, he doesn't have an issue with race mixing. Washington semi-famously released his slaves after he died. The founding fathers, most of them did know, or at the very least were kind of getting a sense, all right, of understanding that slavery's bad. It's just that it was so, you know, lucrative, profitable, or whatever you would say. It was just the means by which, you know, the agriculture of America was uplifted, especially obviously in the South. And so, yes, none of them wanted to give up slaves, especially not while they were alive, but it was certainly a looming question among them, okay? It wasn't this obvious 100% thing where it's like, these people deserve to be subjugated. Though, of course, they were subjugated, let's just be clear. But yeah, Fuentes is making it seem like this is the founding fathers. They would have hated interracial couples or whatever. And I don't know that's, I'm not convinced. I'm not fully convinced. Not all of them, at least. Not the two most important ones, right? Sneako sends a message to the people shitting on Haiti.
Haiti, anything. But you need to understand that you can't go and run with this and do the same exact tactics that the Israelis are using. You should see them as your brothers. You should see them as people. You shouldn't see them as subhuman. You shouldn't disregard them completely. It's not Christ-like to throw these people under the bus. It's not Christ-like to disregard them and not treat them as human. When you see people eating in Haiti eating dirt cookies because they don't have food, instead of making fun of them, instead of saying, look how poor you are, look how broke you are, why don't you set up a fundraiser?
He's on his wholesome arc, it seems like. He's fighting against these white supremacists that he's been backing for the last 2 years. Look, I'm here for it. I'm here for it, Sneako. But damn if it ain't weird seeing him pretend like he was just unawares of what he's been supporting the last, however long amount of time. This guy really does love just flip-flopping. I understand Nick's frustration because he has spent so much time grooming our boy Sneako to be this Uncle Tom for him, in a sense. And it's seeming like Sneako's rejecting the programming, finally. Here we go. Here's Sneako's response to Nick, I guess.
You should leave America. Leave the country. Bye. We don't like you. This should be a white country. When was this ever a white country? When, like, for a couple of years? What, the founding fathers, and then all these immigrants poured in immediately? White supremacy is white Zionism. It's the same exact thing. Wanting to have a white-only nation, it should be, like, and then the argument is, like, Japan should be for Japanese people.
Wow, interesting. You know why this is interesting? Because guess what, boys? I bet you could predict this, but Sneako was on this. He was literally delivering the talking points about how, Japanese, ethnically homogenous society or whatever. He was saying, like, look at how well that runs, and it's because they're ethnically homogenous. Let's see what he says now.
Strong immigration is good. I've never argued against that. People are saying that I'm against.
All right, that's just cap, my friend. That's just a lie. Literally a lie, but whatever.
Like, I'm anti strong borders. I've always said illegal immigration is objectively bad. You need to have strong borders. People should come in legally. But this country is not a white country. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I'm sorry. I don't know why people are even trying to get this. That will never occur. You would have to genocide millions of people, and
yeah, bro, it's so crazy. He's connecting these dots after all these years.
What's funny about this, me saying that, it sounds crazy. There's a lot of people that are like, W, they want that.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, look at his own chat. Look, I'm here for it, okay? If Sneako's wising up or whatever, I mean, I understand that it's probably just an opportunist thing. It's like, this is a way for him to kind of stir up controversy among his own community or whatever. But I'm here for it. This is a, respectable battle to fight. Just actually being like, yeah, guess what? These white supremacy fucking losers, they're fucking losers. W. Sneako says Italians weren't considered white America until the 60s. I mean, it's true. They got called slurs too, guess what? Sneako before brain hemorrhage. This is funny. At this point, after all this murder in the name of Islam, this is, I believe, right after Charlie Hebdo. For those who don't know, cartoonists basically getting killed for depicting the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. These people were cartoonists. So this is, keep in mind, this is a 15-year-old Sneako. 15-year-old Sneako is talking like this. At this point, after all this murder in the name of Islam, it's very difficult to defend it. These people were cartoonists. Sneako, what they're showing disrespect to our prophet. Sure, the murders were a bit too much, but don't defend the cartoonist. Please be joking. It's an Islamic rule to not draw Muhammad. The rest of the world doesn't have to abide by that. 10 years later, it's a little different. All right, so here's a synopsis, I guess, of whatever the fuck this controversy was. Can't trust the Jews. They treat others as goyim and believe they are the superior race. You're right. God created us equally, and there's no superiority except by piety and closeness to God. Now take your Zamzam water and get the fuck out of my face. Don't you guys eat the body of Christ? You'll pay for the blasphemy when there will be a Catholic state. Chat, we love Sneako. Haitians are eating cats. No, they're not. The woman from the video is an African American. Haitians based for killing slave owners. We supposed to unite under faith, not skin color. Go live in Haiti then. Sneako became woke. Go back to red pill, white supremacy. Eat dirt cookies, whites based. I am woke for not accepting the mainstream lies and calling out supremacy that we both agree is Jewish and evil. Chat, is Nick a Jew? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry if you're still listening to this. This is such fucking brain rot. It's actually giving me pain. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, okay? Because now we get to listen to... What? Oh, shit. This guy's saying... Okay, so this... Apparently we have exclusive footage of Sneako being a Jew. You know you're really in some high echelon circles. Some real academic powerhouse circles. when both sides are calling each other Jewish, despite neither side being remotely Jewish. Like both hating Jews, you know what I mean? Oh my God. You're Jewish. No, you're Jewish, dude. You're just a fucking idiot.
A white country. When, like, for a couple of years, what the founding fathers, and then all these immigrants poured in.
So apparently, okay, so that clip basically is, that's Sneako being a Jew. Classic Sneako. Sneako should stream with Haitian cannibals, eat mud cookies, and attend a voodoo sacrifice to show everyone how beautiful the country really is. Instead, he's hiding in his car. Sneako says, soon people will know the truth about the beautiful country of Haiti. So here's the problem. I'm still fucking blocked by Sneako, so I can't really see what the fuck this guy's tweeting. So L for me, I guess. Nick Fuentes responds to Sneako's comments. Here we go.
Bro is crashing out.
What the fuck? It's so funny and relatable, bro.
And I called him out a little bit on my show last night, and the clips are getting worse and worse.
Bro, these guys are literally in the ball pit. Like, they're in a competition to see who can get deeper and deeper into the abyss. They're quite literally dragging each other down. So fucking stupid.
And I like Sneako. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time now. I've known him
2 years, bro.
For a couple of years. We've been through a lot together. We've been through Yay 24 and Fresh and Fit, and we've been on this arc. But now he's going around and saying America was never a white country. And he's saying Italians didn't found America. Yeah, we literally found America, bro. But that's besides the point.
Guess what? Actually, bro. Guess what? This guy's revealing his power level, which is very low. Our boy Nick Fuentes seems like when it comes down to the nitty gritty, ain't got that much awareness of history. Because guess what? Ironically, our boy, who he just referenced, because you understand, when he says Italians found America, he's talking about Christopher Columbus, who was commissioned by Spain. And they stumbled upon America. And guess what? That America that Christopher Columbus stumbled upon, well, it included Haiti. In fact, Christopher Columbus spent a lot of time in Haiti committing unfucking believable crimes. Unbelievable shit that I did not believe when I first heard it. But you look into it and it's like, oh, fuck my life. Yeah, it seems like Christopher Columbus was not that cool of a guy. Now, I'm not fucking... You can do whatever you want to the statues, bro. I don't care, because that's just a fact, you know? But if we're going to blame anybody for Haiti's state, you could probably start with Mr. Columbus. You certainly, in my head, would sooner attribute Haiti's current day status to Columbus than you would attribute America's current day status to Columbus. Does that make sense? So what Nick's saying, to dumb it down for you a little, what Nick's saying is a fucking dumb as hell.
Italians didn't found America. Yeah, we literally found America, bro.
And Haiti, bro.
But that's besides the point. He's going on this screed against white supremacy. I'm like, white supremacists founded this country, and that's got nothing to do with me. That's just true. But he goes, Italians and Mexicans didn't found this country. Yeah, they literally did. They literally found the country.
Hey, he's really doubling down on that point, huh? Well, guess what, bro? They found Haiti as well.
An Italian sent by Spain found America.
And Haiti. This fucking guy, man. Look at this shit-eating grin, dude. I love it, dude. I love it. Dude, this fucking guy.
And who do you think was there? Natives. So, natives, Spanish, Italians, we found this whole side of the earth, bro. He goes, they didn't found America. Yeah, we did. Maybe they set up camp, but we found it. We found the country. My people found the country. But that's besides the point.
Which is, what's the point? That white supremacy is a good thing?
The truth is, America was a white country for 400 years.
What is this guy fucking saying? Okay, what does it mean to be a white country? You mean that the dominant faction within the government was entirely white?
Almost 400 years. From 1600 until 1990. Just about 400 years.
1990?
America was white. Now we have all these non-white people living here. Now, you can say whatever you want about that. But those are the facts. America was a white country, and it isn't anymore.
What's the fact exactly? That there was barely any non-whites until the 90s? Because there was plenty of non-whites before the fucking 90s, bro.
And those are the facts. And it was founded by white supremacists. Just read what they have to say.
This is a actually really fascinating fucking frame. Bro, okay. I'm gonna do a little digging off stream because I'm gonna pull up some actual quotes from the fucking founders to kind of jostle with Nick here, because obviously the founding fathers and their, whole stance on slavery, or at least most of their stances on slavery, the fact that it fucking existed, whatever. Obviously all these things are, bad, right? Like, of course. But they were not nearly as blatantly actually, like violently hateful to, colored people as Nick is kind of making them sound right here. Sure, okay, there were white supremacists on some dimensions, for sure. But he's kind of like co-opting them in a very, very aggressive way.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. You could even go as...
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson literally had children with one of his slaves, bro.
As far as Calvin Coolidge and Harry Truman.
Well, okay. Those guys are not fucking founding fathers. Those are just random presidents. You could talk about Woodrow Wilson, too. He was a fucking racist. Okay, he wasn't a founding father, though.
For hundreds of years, American presidents, statesmen did not believe that whites and blacks, which were the only major racial groups in the country, would ever be living on the basis of social equality. Now, you can say whatever you want about that, but that is a fact. And I've always said it's very rich that, there is this dichotomy, the dichotomy of it all. On the one hand, they have this bone to pick with white supremacists. You weren't kings. When you say you were kings, that's like when black people say we was kings. Well, the difference is...
What is he even referencing? I have no fucking idea.
We were kings. Frankly, we were kings and queens. We actually were. Okay.
Jesus. The amount of... So weird, bro. The amount of fetishizing this guy does for skin color is so fucking odd. Imagine associating the color of your skin with your superiority. How fucking cringe that is. Imagine implying that somehow, just by fucking divine decree, because you have a certain color skin, you're somehow better than other people. Does that sound like earned fucking advantage to you? Does that sound like a worthwhile hierarchy to follow? Well, I could imagine you would want it to be if you're fucking white or whatever. But in my head, someone who is this fucking fixated with their identity, just the most base level of it too, like, oh, the color of my goddamn skin. It's not only is it so fucking inbred, actually inbred mentality, like inbred. It's also just a recipe for having the dumbest fucking people ever in your camp. You got a bunch of fucking idiots, skinheads, thinking that they're superior for an unearned reason. It's fucking boring as hell. Boring, lazy, and cringe. But anyway, let's see what else he's got.
King of England, King of
The fuck you talking about, bro? Jesus Christ, there's kings in Africa too.
France, Tsar of Russia, Caesar. Ever heard of him? And they actually did preside over real empires. The reason why it's funny when black people say it is because they never were. They were king of the dirt. Mansa Musa. And Togo and Zambia. And the Ghana and the Gambia.
So is he bringing up... Look, there's cases of African empires. Egypt, you could, obviously most people living in Egypt were not like white as we would consider them today, whatever. All these things, obviously there was class divides at those times too, but yeah, this guy's really butchering a lot of fucking history, just real lazily.
King of what? King of what? King of that field over there? King of a bunch of screaming banshees and loincloths? They didn't even have a written language. They had no two-story buildings. They had mosques. Arabs brought the mosques in North Africa and the Sahel, but it wasn't the subject.
Is this guy including Egypt? Because Egypt had a language, bro.
Saharan Africans. And they want to take credit for Egypt.
Oh,
we
okay.
was
Here we go.
pharaohs. You weren't pharaohs. We built the pyramids. No, you didn't. We built the White House because we told you to. I shouldn't say we. Because
Who built the pyramids then, bro? The fucking aliens?
the English people made you. Okay? So he goes, when white people say we were kings, that's like not quite, because we were.
Did he just misspeak, bro?
So he goes, when white people say we were kings, that's like not quite, because we were. Because we were. And
God, it's fucking... Look, man, if you're watching this and you think, dude, this guy is spitting, at least acknowledge that it's so fucking cringe how much he identifies with his whiteness or whatever, and how desperately he's trying to interweave the idea that he is white enough, being an Italian Mexican or whatever, as a fellow fucking wop. It's weird, bro. Super fucking weird.
in some countries, we still are. There's a king in England right now.
The king in England is certainly making all the important fucking decisions.
And there's a king in Spain, and there's a king.
Oh my god, dude. The monarchs have all the power today.
In Norway or Sweden, one of those Scandinavian.
Yeah, he didn't fucking know. Fucking loser.
Denmark has a king. They have kings still.
Okay, but do you think that these kings are actually fucking making decisions, bro?
Although they don't mean much.
No kidding, dude. Jesus.
But it was just 100 years ago when most of them were kings, and then they were slowly destroyed by the Jews.
You mean by the parliament? I mean, I guess the parliament or the people. I guess that's just Jews then.
But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So I hear that kind of stuff. They're like, he's like, America was never white. Yes, it was. Well, you didn't found America. Yeah, we did.
Dude. We did it, dude.
America wasn't founded by white supremacists. Yes, it was. And you were never kings. Yes, we were.
I'm waiting for the point where he starts talking beyond like it was once the case, therefore we should return. Like, where does he actually start trying to make points for how this is actually best for society? Because it's not. But I'd like to see how he tries to justify it.
Absolutely, we were. So, I don't know what's going on with this. He's on like his destiny arc. It's very troublesome.
Invoking destiny because he knows that his audience and Sneako's audience will find it cringe to be associated with a blue-haired fucking lib. Fair enough.
Bro went the way of destiny. He won the war, but he's losing the peace with destiny.
Okay. The amount of brain rot you need to be sincerely associating this type of shit with. Oh, God.
We won the argument.
It's so terminally online, bro.
We found out that Israel did 9/11. We found out that conspiracies are real. We found out that the cuck lifestyle does in fact lead to divorce.
Wow, that's crazy.
We won the war. Now he's losing the peace. He's crashing out because of the mud cookies, which is how it started. You know, when me and Sneako first met, we were kind of on board, but then he found the Haiti clip when I said, they eat mud, and he's like, WTF?
Yeah. Before these guys ever talked together, I think I showed this maybe in my Sneako video, but yeah, Fuentes basically said Haitians have the lowest IQ. You know, he shits on Haitians a decent amount. And Sneako was kind of sketched out. He was like, what the fuck? Fuck this guy, man. Fuck this. I hate this guy. And then he talks to him and he gets seduced because he's a very suggestible individual. And so now that I guess Trump basically brought up like Haitians eating fucking dogs or whatever in the debate. And Fuentes was like, yes, yeah, fuck yeah. Sneako's having a bit of trouble. And at the end of the day, it's like, bro, if you have any respect for your own fucking heritage, you would never have associated with a guy like this who would so flagrantly disregard not just the intellect, not just the accomplishments, not just the history of your fucking people, but their entire fucking existence. He does not give a fuck.
And now he wants to do this thing where he lectures Christians about, it's like, bro, you didn't even know Jesus was baptized until like last week. Okay, so let's just not tell Christians what they believe. well, if you don't like Haiti, you're not a very good Christian. That's just like the prototypical like lib shit. You'll find like the most degenerate atheist liberal smoking a joint and they say, hey man, oh, you have a problem with this, but doesn't Jesus say like love everybody and shit and stuff, man?
But doesn't Jesus unironically say that?
And it's like, okay, but are you a Christian? No, man, I believe in the universe, brother. Okay, so then shut the fuck up. And it's like, you know, Sneako's running around with all these non-Americans that are Muslim, and he's like, you're a bad Christian. It's like, you're Muslim. You're Muslim. Why do we? Oh, now the talking cheese is going to lecture us about our.
What the fuck is that? Is it some weird backhanded fucking insult to Muslims? The talking cheese.
Our own religion.
The fuck?
And you know, I'm going to say, so I say all this stuff. I don't know if Sneako's taking it personally. I hope he's not, because I mean this sincerely. I consider Sneako a very good friend. And I like him a lot, and I think he has a lot of integrity, and I think he's an honest guy. So I hope he's not taking it too personally. For me,
you see, Fuentes can disregard the existence of the people of Sneako's heritage, but hopefully he doesn't take it personally. Hey, we'll see. We'll see if Sneako's a good little boy and if he doesn't take it personally. Or maybe this truly is the end of their beautiful relationship. Nick and Sneako sitting in a tree. GOKAMERCH.com. Sign up for the email list. You saw the Sneako video? Pick up a bot. Limited supply coming soon. Okay? All you gotta do, sign up for that damn email list. Ooh. If you would like a beautiful little sweater as a memento from this Sneako video as we approach the colder months of the year, this escape hoodie is available for a limited time at gokamerch.com, baby. Gokamerch.com.
Yeah, I'm bantering. I'm having fun, and I'm
Well, it's good that you're having fun, Nick.
making jokes about it, but I don't want people to think this is a beef, and I don't want Sneako to think that, because I do respect him and I like him, and we have our differences.
Do you respect him? I'm not convinced.
But I think that is what friendship is kind of about. You tease each other and you make jokes about it, you know.
Yeah, and you threaten the existence of your friend's ethnic identity. That's friendship, bro. That's just what it's all about, man. You know?
We're different races, we're different religions, we have a different perspective, and we're never going to see eye to eye on those things as long as he is a Muslim and I'm a Catholic, but that's okay. It's all fun.
That's wholesome, man. All right, anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into this rant, but Sneako has every right to be proud of his heritage, okay? And anybody, I would say, has a right to be proud of their heritage. I would question more so, what is the reason that they're proud of their heritage? Is it just a blind, like, you know, identifying with their, you know, their color or just like their label or whatever, right? Are you just looking for an identity to provide you some kind of meaning or purpose that you could otherwise not attain in your life? Because that's just a kind of sad reason in my head to identify with your heritage. But, you know, in the case of Sneako, yeah, Haitian identity or heritage is very fucking colored, very interesting. They've had their own revolution. There is a lot of very deep damn lore with Haitians. Okay, whatever anybody says about Haiti today, okay, there is an extremely colored history that has brought them to that point. When we're talking about the Philippines, okay, that's another part of Sneako's heritage. I believe he's half Filipino, quarter Haitian, quarter white, something like that. The Philippines part of his heritage, also a very cool heritage, okay? Lots of deep fucking lore history, whatever you would say. In the case of the Philippines, that is another, at the time, I believe it was, let me just double check real quick. Philippines was a Spanish colony from 1565 to 1898. 1898, basically, the course of events was that the Filipinos had been fighting for a long time to gain independence, okay? And guess what? These big colonial powerhouses, all right, they sometimes would actually kind of collude together, okay? And in this case, with the Philippines, Spain was very, let's just say, embarrassed to actually be losing a war, a guerrilla war, a civil war, whatever you would say, a revolution, to the Filipinos, okay? So guess what they did? The Americans had their eye on the Philippines already, okay? But they privately negotiated with the Spanish officials to basically steal or co-opt or take over the revolutionary efforts of the Filipino guerrilla fighters, okay? And so, despite the fact that the Filipinos actually put in by a mile the most blood, effort, and fucking passion into their, attempts to gain independence, the Spanish had already made a deal that they would surrender to the fucking Americans, thus obviously making, basically, America the new, colonizers of the Philippines. And there's a lot of damn lore that goes into this, okay? There was a lot of brutality under the Americans. Of course, a lot of brutality under the Spanish. You know what's interesting? Now we're just going to get into random kind of fucking lore about Philippines, but the Spanish were really, really fucking hierarchically racist with the Filipinos, okay? To the extent that churches, right? Churches were all basically in Spanish. Let me double check that. It might have been Latin, but I'll check. Damn, okay. I can't find an answer, but effectively, okay, they, despite imposing Christianity on the Philippines population, the Spanish did not actually integrate the Filipinos, okay? There was an extreme, hierarchical difference where basically, the Spanish priests and the Spanish officials who were the colonial leaders, they completely kept Filipinos out of the running, out of the circles, okay? The Filipinos continued to basically practice their own language, right? They never got really taught how to speak Spanish, and this was with the purpose of basically keeping them at a lower caste. But this obviously stoked a fuckload of racial tension that ultimately manifested in, this kind of revolution or civil war, or whatever you would call it. Revolution, really. But then when the Americans swooped in and basically, recolonized the Philippines, they did so under kind of the implication of, we'll be nicer to you, even though there was obviously their fair share of atrocities that occurred, because there was many guerrilla fighters who were fighting for their own independence. They were fucking pissed off that the Americans came and swooped in, basically. And they basically swooped in after the vast majority of the hard work had been done, right? What did the Americans do differently? Because Filipinos today at least the vast majority that I know, are very loyal to America, or they're very like kind of, at the very least, they're very like integrated or enamored by Western culture, if this makes sense. And so the simple difference is that the Americans integrated the Filipinos a lot more aggressively. They taught them how to fucking speak English. They brought a lot of them over to America for very cheap labor. Okay, let's be real, that's the main reason. Like it wasn't like a fucking foreign exchange program. They brought them to America to do cheap labor. But still, obviously this created a lot more, you know, of a cultural exchange in a sense. And so despite, you know, a lot of death, so there's some famous cases basically where you know, American generals or military leaders in general would just massacre Filipino civilians. So yeah, in spite of that, in spite of obvious fucking, like, still there was racist systems set up, right? In spite of, you know, a lot of, what's the term? Civil liberties being, you know, trounced on, trampled, whatever. The situation today with the Philippines is pretty much, you know, most people are integrated with, you know, the West. Like they're not exactly hyper antagonistic. They benefit more from Americans being there than China would, with like what the US has done with Japan and Korea in the past, but a bit different. Okay, it's really late. I have to go to bed now. Have a wonderful night, Gokanaru, and everyone else. Thanks, Azaru. Worst colonizers have been the British Kingdom. Not even an argument. Yeah, okay. I just checked to double check. But basically, despite the Philippines officially getting their independence in 1946 after World War II, so they were a colony of America, like official a colony of America for about 50 years. Obviously, you know, the roots that were placed of the kind of the systems, the fucking, you know, the structures, whatever, those have permeated through, you know, Philippines culture since. But yeah, man, there's a lot of fucking respect that I have for the Philippines history, bro. Because to defeat the Spanish, I mean, dude, they basically defeated the Spanish. That's no small feat, bro. That was a time when the Spanish were, well, let's just say they had a lot of, they had a lot of swag still. But anyway, Spain literally raped and pillaged 3 civilizations out of existence and created a whole new race. But yeah, the Brits are the worst. Yeah, this isn't exactly a competition you want to win. But, you know, the Dutch in South Africa, yeah. I'm not going to try and claim who is the worst colonizer or whatever, but, you know, I think it is interesting, right? Like, okay, I'll tell you, the biggest resource that I would recommend if you actually care about learning about the Philippines Revolution is this, what would you call it? Oh yeah, it's available on YouTube. It's actually really good. This is a really good resource, and it's fucked in the head how little attention it gets, dude. This is crazy. Okay, here. American History Tellers, okay? This is the name of the podcast. And it's actually, it is, I've vetted, okay, a number of, you know, this, this podcast's series. It's a real solid fucking resource for information about American history that is truly, like, kind of coming at it from a very nuanced perspective. Okay, like they really do, at least from what I've watched so far, which I've watched a lot of these, or sorry, listened to a lot of these. They really do have like very tempered, very, very tempered. I'm impressed with this series, and this is 100% worth listening to. Ignore the fucking view count, okay? This is really well made. They have like historical reenactments, all this stuff. But yeah, the Philippine-American War, the path to independence. It's not just this one episode. There's like 5 or 6 episodes talking about the Philippines. But yeah, it really does give you the full picture. So yeah, you came to listen to me talk about Sneako and Fuentes breaking up, and now maybe you'll leave with something a little bit, higher value to consume than my or Sneako or Fuentes' content, At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? Just gaining new perspectives, new lenses for interpreting the world so that you can understand it and see it just a little bit clearer, right? Guys like Sneako, guys like Fuentes, they will not help you see the world more clearly, okay? Their lens is extremely limited, disgustingly limited. So I urge you to check out some of the podcasts these guys have put out, because they're worth it. I've never listened to one and thought it wasn't worth it. It's really solid.